Good morning, third grade. Welcome to our first daily math page. We're going to go through here just like we would in class, and we're going to start at the top of your page. So let's read this together. Order the numbers from least to greatest. Think about what your key words are there. I see the word least and I see the word greatest. Least means small and greatest means big. So I need to put these numbers in order from the smallest to the biggest. Let's start by looking at our thousands place. I see a 3, and a 3. That doesn't tell me anything. We're going to move now to our hundreds place. 1, 1, 9. I know that 9 is bigger than 1, so now I know my last number. 3,900 is my greatest number. Looking at these other two, they're both a 1. That tells us nothing. I need to move to my tens place. I see a 9 and a 0. That tells me that 0 is less than 9. So this number is less than this number. 3,109, 3,199, and of course 3,900, which we had already figured out. Let's move on down. Miss Powell, would you like to read this one?
There are 498 students in grades kindergarten, first, and second. There are 589 students in third, fourth, and fifth. How many students are there altogether? Now, what is our key word there? What property are we going to use? What add, subtract, multiply, or divide?
Well, I see the word altogether. Altogether means add. So I know I'm going to be adding those two numbers. What numbers did you find, Miss Powell?
498 and 589.
Let's line those up. We always put the bigger number on top. 589 plus 498. Start in your ones place. 9 plus 8 is?
17.
Carry that 1. 8 plus 1 is?
9.
Plus 9
is 18.
All right, let's carry that 1 again. 5 plus 1
is 6.
And 6 plus 4 is?
10.
10. That means I have 1,087. Miss Powell, we're always told to label our answers. What would you use as a label?
We're students. We were talking about students.
Right. How many students? So my answer is 1,087 students.
Again, show your work. Line your numbers up. Make sure that you do it neat. That way you'll get the correct answer.
When we're counting money, we have a couple of strategies that we've used this year. In my class, we've used counting by the value of the coin. We've used Harry coin method, and I'm sure that Miss Powell has had some of those similar strategies. We're going to actually work this problem out in two different ways. So Miss Powell, I will let you start, and then I'll finish up with Harry coins.
Well, let's look at this. We have a lot of quarters, and we've talked about how many quarters make $1. So if I were going to do this, I would group my quarters. I would circle quarters in groups of how many? 4.
It takes 4 quarters to make $1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's $2. Okay.
And 1, 2, 3. How much is 3 quarters worth?
25, 50, 75.
So we have 75 there.
75
cents. And we have 2 dimes. What are dimes worth?
They're worth 10.
So we have 2 dimes. That would be 10, 20.
20. 75 plus 20.
We have 1 nickel. What is a nickel worth?
5.
So we have 5 cents there and 1 penny, and it's worth 1 cent.
So 75 plus 20. 75 plus 20 plus 5 plus 1. 5 plus 5 is?
10.
10.
We forgot our 1, 5, and 10. We got a penny. You forgot our penny.
Oh, 5, 10, plus 1 is
a penny.
11.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
I almost missed about a penny. Then we're at 7 plus 2 plus 1, or 7 plus 1 plus 2. What is that?
10.
10.
10. And I have 3 numbers here. What should I do?
We need a decimal point.
We're going to go over 2 places. 1, 2. $1.01. So really that means that this right here is another dollar. And I have a penny left over. 1, 2, $3 and 1 cent. Now, Miss Powell, that kind of was confusing. So there's some other ways that we could work this out here. When we got here and we realized we were at 75 cents, we could have added a dime, putting us at 85 cents, and another dime put us at 95 cents, plus that nickel would have put us at $1, and we would have seen there we could have made that final circle. And then, of course, you have your penny left over. But in some of my classes, we've talked about hairy coins. And I know that sounds funny, but it's actually a really cool method for figuring out how much money you have. We have a lot of quarters, and it's probably easiest to just go ahead and do your quarters in groups of 4. But when we get over here to this part over here, we want to go ahead and count by hairy coins. So you'll see that we're at 75 because quarters are easy to count. But then we've got to add 2 dimes, a nickel, and a penny. So if we're at 75 and we add 2 dimes, a nickel, and a penny, we're going to give these guys some hair. And that's going to help us to count by 5s in order to figure out how much money we have. So a dime is worth 10 cents. That would be 5, 10. That guy gets 2 hairs. Every time I see a dime, I get 2 hairs. These guys are going to have lots of hair before we're done. A nickel is just 1 hair because he's only worth 5. And then the poor little old penny has no hair, but we're going to give him a smile because he's always going to be a happy guy. So we've got 75. We're going to count by 5s. 80, 85, 90, 95, $1, $1.01. So we know, again, this was $1.01. 1, 2, $3.01. Easy enough?
Easy enough.
All right, let's go on down to the next one, Miss Powell.
What is the area of a square when the side length is 6 inches? What is the perimeter?
I see 2 questions here.
2 question marks? Also think of your shape. It is a square. What do we know about a square?
A square has 4 sides.
It's a quadrilateral.
It is. And a square is special because all the sides are equal. So I'm going to draw us a picture here, Miss Powell. I think that will help us.
It's always good to draw pictures and get a picture in your mind.
So here's our square, and it says that each side is
6 inches.
Well, if that side is 6 inches, that means this side is 6 inches, and all of the sides are 6 inches because it's a square, and all the sides are equal. So let's talk about area. If you're in my class, you'll remember area has a formula. Area equals length times width. And so my length here is 6 inches. And my width is
6 inches.
So area equals 6 times 6, which equals
36.
36. Now, Miss Powell, what does 36 mean?
36 we have in area, it'd be 36 square inches.
So if I were to draw squares in my square and I were to count them up, I could fit 36 squares inside of that square, making this 36 inches squared, because anytime we do area, we're counting the amount of squares that I can fit into the shape. And so now we need to look at that second question. That second question is all about perimeter. What do you know about perimeter?
Perimeter would be if we were building a fence, the outside of something, all the way around it.
I'm going to draw Sparky. Sparky is our mascot in the classroom. He's our little puppy dog, and we don't want Sparky to get out of his fence. And so if I'm going to go to the store and buy some lumber for Sparky, I need to know how much lumber I need to buy. So how would I go about that, Miss Powell?
You're going to have to add up every side.
So I need 6 inches on this side, plus
6 inches, plus 6 inches, plus 6 inches.
Sparky has no way of getting out now. I can be sure that he's going to be there whenever I leave the fence. So 6 plus 6 is
12.
12 plus 6 is
18.
And 18 plus 6 is
24.
24. Those of you that are multiplication whizzes could have also seen that 6 times 4 equals 24. What is our unit? What are we measuring with?
We are measuring with inches.
Inches. So we have 24 inches of lumber that we need to go purchase in order to keep Sparky in his fence. Good job. We are almost there for today. Let's move on to this question. How are these two shapes similar?
Now we have to look closely. Let's look at those shapes. Let's look.
I see 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. That one's a quadrilateral.
Yeah. And a rectangle.
And a rectangle, right.
No.
This one has 3 sides. Well, that's not how they're similar. That's different.
Yes.
How are they the same?
I could see one thing. They both have a right angle.
Ooh, a right angle means it's a square angle. So I could draw a square in that angle. They do both have a right angle. I like that answer. They both have a right angle. I think you're right, Miss Powell.
I know something else we could say.
What?
They are both polygons.
Oh, yes. What is a polygon? Can you remind me?
Polygon has straight, flat, closed sides.
So the sides must be straight, and they must be closed, and
They would be flat.
flat. So it can't be a 3D shape.
Nope, no 3D shapes.
Okay. Moving on to the next one. It's all about fractions. We're going to compare these fractions using these symbols. We've got this symbol, which is greater than. We've got this symbol, which is
Less than.
and this symbol, which is
Equal.
Let's look at a little trick real quick. How do we remember what's the name of each sign? If I am to turn my paper, I want you to look at which sign creates the letter L. This one right here becomes an L when I turn my paper. So that is the sign for less than. And of course the other one would be greater than. So we've got 5/6 and 5/8. What do we need to do, Miss Powell?
We've talked about, in my class, we talk about cross multiplying.
Oh, the
take
butterfly method,
The butterfly method, yes. We take our denominator,
Downstairs, denominator.
and we multiply it with a numerator across from it.
Which is a 5. What does that equal?
5 times 8 is
40.
Then
Now
you
what?
Take the other denominator,
The 6 downstairs, denominator.
go across to the other numerator, and we multiply
6 times 5 is
30.
30. And 40 is
Greater than
greater than
30.
30. So 5/6 must be greater than 5/8. Let's talk about that in the form of pizza, Miss Powell. If I'm thinking about a pizza and I cut, this is not going to be good, but I'm going to try to cut my pizza up into 6 equal pieces. So I'm going to go half, and then I'm going to cut each of those into thirds, and that's going to give me 6 equal pieces. And then over here, I'm going to cut my pizza up into 8 slices. So I'm going to go with 4, and then I'm going to go on down and cut each of those in half, and that gives me 8.
I want the pizza on the left.
I want the pizza on the left too. Look, you get more slices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we both get 5 slices, but
Our slices are bigger.
2, 3, 4, 5. Over here, I get more pizza. And so that's the side that I would want. That's the greater side. This next question is about elapsed time. Miss Powell, do you guys use the hills?
We don't. No, we don't talk about the hills. No.
You haven't talked about hills. Well, let me explain it, and then you can teach the way that you guys explain it. And my kiddos may really like the way that you do it also. We're going to start here on this line, and it says that our start time is 8:15 a.m. So we have 8:15 a.m., and we are going to go for 5 hours and 15 minutes. And it wants to know what time our recess is. You can't see it on this side, but it's okay. It says what time is recess. We want to know our end time. So I'm at 8:15, and we always start with minutes. And every time I hop by 5. So just like around a clock, you hop by 5s. I've got 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then I go 5 hours. Hours are big hops, and I count by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I need to figure out what time it is when I land on that number line. If I'm at 15, what comes after 15 counting by 5?
20.
20.
30.
25.
25.
And then
30.
30. So right now it is 8:30, but I have lots of hours left. After 8:30, I go to 9:30, 10:30. Notice it's only my hours that are changing. 11:30, 12:30,
and
1:30. So what time is recess?
It's at 1:30.
It's at 1:30.
Also, that was to think about if it started at a.m. and we crossed past noon.
Ooh, yes. What happened?
What happened to a.m. or p.m.?
It went to lunchtime, so we passed lunchtime, which means we're going to go on into p.m. time. Good call, Miss Powell. I missed that. Do you want to explain it for your kids?
Well, we've used a lot of clocks, unless they have the clocks at home.
Uh-huh.
So we'll just go on. We don't have a clock with us.
Well,
right
we
now.
can draw one. Let me draw one. So here we are. I'm going to do my best. Just bear with me. 12, 6, 3, and 9. These are the only important numbers really on the clock. If you get those in the right spot, the rest of them just fall into place. And so here we go. 10 and 11. Now.
And we counted by 5s. If we put our clock at the 8, if we made 8:30 on our clock.
8:15?
8:15, yes.
8:15. So my hour hand is going to point to my 8. It's the smaller hand. Remember, if you put the word hour over the word minute, you can see that the hour is the shorter hand and the minute is the longer hand. And so we've got the short hand between the 8 and the 9. And then we've got 15 is the long hand that goes straight over there to your 3.
And we always talk about our hour hand hooks the number behind it. So we cannot say 9 until we're actually at the 9.
So we're going to hook the 8.
And then we would count. We started at 8:15 and we're going to count by 5.
Okay.
Again, we're going to say 5, 10, 15. And there that gets us to 8:30.
Uh-huh.
And then we would count our minutes. Our hours, I'm sorry. So for 8:30, and how many hours do we have?
Let me switch colors real quick so they can see these hours as I go through them. We're at the 8, and we're going to go 5 hours?
5 hours.
All right, here we go. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5. And there again. We're going to be at 1:30. 1
and we landed at 30. The 6 is 30 minutes.
And we determined p.m., 1:30 p.m.
Correct. Okay, one more and we have got it for today. Ronnie goes to bed. Let me fix our camera here. Sorry, guys. Ronnie goes to bed every night at 8:30 p.m. He sleeps for 10 hours and 15 minutes. Oh my goodness, he gets lots of sleep. So we're going to sleep for 10 hours and 15 minutes, and we want to know what time good old Ronnie's going to wake up for the day. So what time are we starting, Miss Powell?
We are starting at 8:30.
Our start time is 8:30 p.m. And so we're going to use that same method of hills and mountains, and we need to go minutes first. So minutes put us at 15 is what it says. We need 15 minutes. 5, 10, 15. And then it says 10 hours. Woo, that's a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 hours. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
We are at 8:30, and we need to count by fives because that's what our little hills tell us to do. So if I'm at 30, that means 35 comes next, and then 40, and then 45. So I am at 8:45 p.m. And now we need to change the hours. And this time as we change, Miss Powell, if we cross that 12, what's going to happen to our AM or PM this time?
Well, when we cross midnight this time, we're going to go from PM to AM.
So we're going to be waking up in the morning at AM time. So here we go. We're at 8. What comes after 8?
9:45.
9:45. I'm not going to have room, so let's just go with 10, 11, 12. Oh, here's that special number.
We have 13. No 13.
No 13. We're at 12, so that means we just hit AM. And we're going to continue on around that clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what was our minutes?
45.
We're still at 45. 6:45 a.m. 6:45
I think we don't have to do it with the clock this way. I think that's a good way for them to do that. The longer hours, that's a good way to do it.
Okay, so you guys are probably back in school frame of mind a little bit, and so we are going to show you, this is your assignment that you can get to in just a moment. At the bottom of this video, you're going to see where it says the assignment, and so you're going to complete these 10 questions. There's a front and a back, 6 on the front, and let me see if I can raise that up a little bit. There's 6 on the front and there's 4 on the back. And as you finish this, these are all review skills, just as we have gone over with you a minute ago. You are going to ask an adult in your home to please snap a picture of it, and Miss Powell and I have our email attached to the bottom of today's assignment page. If you will just have an adult or a brother or sister in your home snap a picture and email us your assignment when you're finished, we can't wait to see how much you remember.
Okay, and I want to remind you, show us your work. Even on these right here, you can go ahead and put your pattern block in it and go, and that will help you to find your answers. Or if it asks you anything else, make sure that you draw your pictures out and read your questions carefully.
Very carefully. We appreciate you joining us today and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a good evening, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.